Hello, my name is Peter Bradshaw. I'm the chief film critic for The Guardian newspaper in the UK. And I'm delighted to have been asked by Klassiki to curate this small selection of movies by Central Asian directors from Kyrgyzstan, Georgia, Kazakhstan and Tajikistan. Some of these films found conventional distribution in the UK, but I came across all of them on the European festival circuit, and it's great to see these gems resurface. My first choice is Beshkempir, or The Adoptive Son, by the Kyrgyzstani director Akhtan Abdikalikov. It's an intensely personal, humane, gentle and approachable film about his own childhood, growing up in the remote village of Kuntu, and the film unfolds to the sound of birdsong. It's about his own feelings and his own memories of discovering at the age of 13 that he was adopted. The director casts his own son in the leading role. There's something richly mysterious, I think, in the way that the film starts in colour for the opening section about the baby's adoption ritual, but then after a flash forward to the same child, now as an early teen, we switch to a stark black and white. It's a minimal film about the raptness with which we, as children, see things. We're mesmerised by them. And the film has something of the coming-of-ager in that it's about the wild and crazy scrapes teen kids get into as they roam around and then find themselves entirely overwhelmed by feelings of love and sex. Perhaps tellingly, our young hero discovered he is adopted actually during a film. Movies are his wake-up call, this jolt into real identity. The next is Lost Killers by the Georgian director Dito Tsinsadze, a film of grown-up uncertainty and disillusion, but with a carnivalesque streak of surreality and broad black comedy about the migrant experience in prosperous Western Europe. It's about 5 immigrants in the red light district of Mannheim in Germany. A Vietnamese sex worker has a quasi-narcoleptic condition, which means she falls deeply asleep after orgasm. She is tormented with the dream of avenging the death of her mother, which occurred long ago. She is involved with a Haitian who wants to find someone to buy his kidney so he can emigrate to Australia. A Croatian and a Georgian want to make a living as professional hitmen and are always chatting and bickering. The Georgian loves discoursing about his native land. The Croatian has a Portuguese girlfriend who might yet serve as bait for the businessmen whom they're supposed to whack. In this boozy knockabout world, Tsinsadze reveals himself to be influenced by Emir Kusturica, or perhaps the Coen brothers, or indeed Eldar Şengelaya, with whom he studied, but he's very much his own figure. The anxieties of the artist and filmmaker are behind The Road by the Kazakh auteur Darajan Ormibayev. It is a self-referential autobiographical film about a director, Kobezov, in which role Ormibayev actually casts the Tajik filmmaker Jamshed Osmanov. This man has had great success in both his artistic career and his marriage, but he is plagued by anxieties that his audiences will no longer want to see his films, and there is a farcical dream about them preferring a cheesy martial arts film that is wrongly threaded into the movie theatre's projector. News that his mother is seriously ill sends him on a road trip to see her in his distant hometown, encouraged by his wife, which of course becomes an inward or downward journey, a journey back into his past and into the inmost recesses of his mind, and he experiences fantasies and visions. He must make a reckoning with his past and present, perhaps like Marcello Mastroianni in Fellini's 8½, or the metafictional filmmakers of Abbas Kiarostami, and a reckoning also with his lifelong modus operandi of avoiding reality or exploiting it by transforming it into art. The Georgian director Dova Kozashvili's film, Late Marriage, is set in Tel Aviv's Georgian Jewish community, and I think this is the most romantic, the sexiest, and possibly the saddest of the movies on my list here. It stars the Israeli actor Leo Ashkenazi, and his co-star is the charismatic and beautiful Ronit Elkabetz, who sadly died of cancer 6 years ago. It's a little gem, funny, humane, sensual and moving. Writer-director Kozashvili elicits lovely performances from them both. Zaza is the ageing mama's boy bullied into an arranged marriage with a suitable girl, and Judith is the beautiful single mother divorcee whom Zaza secretly loves. A gorgeously sensual comedy turns dark, and Zaza lacks the courage to stand up to his family, and Judith ends up devastated and humiliated. The final scene in which Zaza has what amounts to a public and spectacular breakdown is brilliantly managed. Kozashvili shows that this unhappiness and repression of true feelings has been passed down inexorably from father to son, and yet Zaza's parents and Zaza himself are shown compassionately, without condemnation. This is a pitch-perfect family tragicomedy. Lastly, there is Angel on the Right. This angel, of course, being the one on our shoulder which tells us to follow virtue, whereas the devil on the opposite shoulder urges the opposite. This film is by Jamshed Osmanov, the star of The Road, of course, and there's an interesting parallel in the stories. It's about a prodigal homecoming, but not of a movie director, but of a small-time thug and crook who also weirdly has some employment as a cinema projectionist. And he comes back to the place of his birth when he hears that his old mother is dying. Usmanov incidentally films in his own home village and uses his own relatives in acting roles. This thoroughly disreputable individual wants to accede to his mother's wishes and make repairs to her house, including fitting a double door so that the coffin can be carried out with dignity. But all this is only so that he can sell the house and make money when she dies. However, the question arises as to whether his mum is really sick and what motives she has for luring him back to a place where he owes people money. It's a garrulous, engaging film which refuses to make hard and fast moral judgments about mother or son. Here then are my 5 selections, and I hope you enjoy them.